I'd like to bring up now Barry Greenspan for his introductory remarks, and I shall return. Barry Greenspan.
During the 20th century, 3 Republicans who were Malden residents at one time during their lives held a statewide elected office. Alvin Tufts Fuller was born in Charlestown on February 27, 1878. His family later settled in Malden's Belmont Hill neighborhood. The son of a newspaper worker, Fuller attended Malden public schools until age 15. While still in his teens, he opened his bicycle shop and became a champion racer. In 1899, at age 21, Fuller sold his racing prizes, went to Europe, and purchased 2 automobiles that he had shipped to Boston, the first to pass through the port. In 1908, he opened an automobile dealership on Commonwealth Avenue, which later became Boston's Automobile Row. At different times, he operated Packard and Cadillac dealerships. Fuller is credited with creating the Washington's Birthday Sale, today a universal practice by automobile dealers nationwide. It's appropriate that today is the day that we used to call Washington's birthday. Okay. In 1914, Fuller was elected as a state representative. In 1916, he was elected to Congress as an independent, but in 1918, he won re-election as a Republican. In 1920, he was elected lieutenant governor. He was re-elected lieutenant governor in 1922. In 1924, he was elected governor, and in 1926, re-elected. Strange quirk of fate is that the same man he succeeded the same man as lieutenant governor and as governor. His name was Channing Cox. Strangely enough, the man Cox preceded him. The man that succeeded him as lieutenant governor and as governor was also the same man. His name was Frank G. Allen. As governor, Fuller is best remembered for refusing to commute the death sentences of convicted murderers Niccolo Sacco and Bartolomeo Vanzetti. After leaving office in 1929, Fuller returned to his automobile dealership and became a philanthropist and a collector of art. Mr. Fuller died April 30th, 1958, and his funeral was held at the First Baptist Church right here in Malden. His son, Peter Fuller, is well known as the man that took over the automobile dealership and was the owner of champion racehorses, thoroughbred racehorses for that matter. In 1952, Massachusetts voters elected a Malden High School graduate named George Fingold as Attorney General, re-elected him in 1954 and in 1956. In 1958, George Fingold, who is today still the only Jewish American ever to hold statewide office, was the Republican candidate for governor, but tragedy struck on August 31st when, at age 49, he died suddenly of a heart attack. But today his memory lives on at the State House. There is the State Library is named for him. This is the library where a collection of maps, statute books, and the library was dedicated in his honor in 1960. Born in Wakefield of Italian immigrant parents, John Volpe was born in 1908 in Wakefield, and his family moved to Malden when he was age 8 in 1916. John Volpe was a graduate of Malden High School in 1926 and went on to Wentworth Institute, where he studied architectural construction. He opened his own firm in 1933, but closed it down in 1943 to do his service with the United States Navy. But after the war ended, he resumed the business, which was right here on Eastern Avenue, right off the edge of Malden Square. It was a landmark for many years. And in 1953, Mr. Volpe was appointed Massachusetts Commissioner of Public Works, a post he held until 1956. That year, President Eisenhower appointed him as the director, the actual administrator of the newly created National Highway System. He held the position for 2 years, and Mr. Volpe was instrumental in the creation of Amtrak. In 1960, then a resident of Winchester, Governor Volpe was elected. Governor was an open seat that year, but in 1962, he lost what was one of the closest elections ever. There was several recounts involved. But in 1964, under the slogan, "Bring back Volpe." The voters of Massachusetts did just that. He was brought back, was only the second governor in Massachusetts history to serve non-consecutive terms. In 1966, he was reelected by the largest landslide ever for a Massachusetts governor. It was over 500,000 votes. It was also the first time that a governor was elected for a 4-year term, and the first time that the governor and lieutenant governor were elected as a team. But halfway through the term, Richard Nixon was elected president, and President Nixon offered him the opportunity to be the second Secretary of Transportation, which he accepted. And he served in that position until 1973, when he was offered the post as ambassador to Italy, and he retired from public life in 1976. Governor Volpe died in 1994, just a few weeks short of what would have been his 86th birthday. More locally, there are names of two prominent Republicans that their names are, we'll call them household names in Malden for that matter. One is Herbert Jackson, Jr., who was for many years, all over 2 decades, a city councilman and a state representative, a Republican, and he was the second African-American ever to hold elected office in the city. Our City Hall Council chamber is named in his honor. The other is a mayor from the 1953-54 era named Fred Lamson, who later went on to the state senate for many years, and the Lamson Davis Hardware Company, which is still in existence, bears his name as being one of the partners. So here in Malden, we have a lot to be proud of with our Republican heritage, and currently, 2 elected officials, one of them is here today. It's Lisa D'Arcangelo, is the Ward 5 school committee woman, and as mentioned earlier, our current City Council President, Craig Spadafora, is a councilman at large, and he's, again, the Ward 3 chairman. So we have representation within even municipal office with Republicans, and we're proud of it. We've had a few in recent years as well. Mr. Minnie is, I believe, not here, but Bill Minnie, for many years, was a member of the Malden School Committee, and he has since moved out of the city, but a few years back, Michael Sheese was the Ward 3 school committee member. So, again, we've accomplished a lot here, and we have a lot to be proud of. So, Malden Republican City Committee members, give yourselves a hand.
Thank you, Barry. With us today, we have also came in while Barry was up here, Representative Brad Hill, who is the minority whip in the State House, has been representing the town of Ipswich for the past 10 years. Wonderful job, and we wish him all the best of luck together with Senator Tissay. I think that they're going to make a great team. They are a great team. I'd like to bring up at this point Mr. Khan, Arthur Khan, to help us go through the Pledge of Allegiance. I'd like for everybody to stand up.
First of all, could we have a moment of silence for the over 4,000 members of the armed service who gave their lives in Iraq and Afghanistan? And let's pray that this confrontation ends shortly, as we can ill afford to lose young boys and women in this uncalled for conflict. Thank you. Now we will salute the flag. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated.